I'm your host, Neil Johnson. Excited to be with you, excited to share the news with you folks. And Trump is winning, and those wins are being felt worldwide. It's almost like the world is healing. There are so many good things. I mean, you guys all witnessed the attempted globalist takeover that occurred during 2020. Actually, it was going on before then, but we saw that come to a head in 2020 with COVID, with the election, with all of it. The forced jabs. I mean, it was nuts. We saw people getting hauled out, getting like against their own will, getting jabbed. It was absolutely insane. And now we are seeing people rise up in the greatest freedom movement, one of the greatest freedom movements the world has ever seen. I don't know if y'all remember the Canadian truckers convoy, but that was one of the great moments of this whole time. And I've got some interesting news on Canada I'll share with you. But what's really interesting is how the liberal media is reacting to Trump's winning. And it's pretty outstanding, folks. I mean, I'm really excited to give you this report. Do go check out my sponsor, though. That's Birch Gold, folks. Global instability, trade wars, all of it. Gold is up over 40% in the last year. And in addition to that, there's a strong move towards sound money. I'm really hoping that actually occurs. I'm hoping that happens. But we are also seeing, along with that, central banks on a buying binge of gold. So text LUMBERJACK to 989898. Again, that's LUMBERJACK to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold and silver. Good to see all of you on. I see Agent Orrin and I see Katarina. Thanks for modding for me today. But let's get right into the news. In fact, I'm gonna hold something up. I did not use the StreamYard studio today. I just did this because most of it's just commentary and reading. But I want you to look at this picture. EU got a deal. Europeans to invest 1.35 trillion in the U.S. Okay, and accept 15% tariffs in biggest deal ever made. This is funny. So now this was a headline in the New York Post. That was how they ran. But watch this. Axios is upset. This is so awesome, folks. Trump got everything we wanted, okay? The U.S. made no concessions. But wait. Actually, here. I'm going to read you this headline from the Wall Street Journal first. Trump and EU dodge a trade war. The U.S. president gets his beloved 15% tariff, but little else from Europe. Folks, we just got a 15% tariff and actually over $1 trillion in investments. And this is how the Wall Street Journal runs a piece on this. Now, the Wall Street Journal is also having problems with immigration and the fact that Trump's closed that down. And I'll get into that because don't ever kid yourself. Big business wants cheap labor. Good to see Wyoming on the stream, Dennis. Next year I'll be elk hunting in Wyoming. I've got the points for it. So, but the U.S. president gets his beloved 15% tariff, but little else from Europe. And what did Europe get, folks? What did Europe get? Does anybody know what Europe got? This is the headline. Trump and the EU dodge a trade war. The U.S. president gets his beloved 15% tariff, but little else from Europe. What did Europe get, folks? I mean, because we got little else. What did Europe get? They must have gotten a lot else because we got a 15% tariff. Okay, Europe, good to see hot alligators. Pappy, you can't get off the alligators, okay? They did not get jack diddly squat. The U.S. and Europe stepped back from the brink of a trade war Sunday as the two sides announced a deal that avoids a tit-for-tat escalation that could do larger damage to both economies. President Trump and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen announced the deal as a major event, but that's only true as a relief. Mr. Trump had threatened 30% tariff on European goods. Exactly, he had threatened it to get them to concede to everything else. What kind of moron reports like this? I am telling you, panic has set in, and I'm going to tell you why. Because Trump's policies are working. They're working. And the worst thing that can happen to them is that in the laboratory of America, in the meritocracy that we still are, these ideas are proven to work and the liberal facade is crushed because all they've had before is false narratives being parroted in the press, and as a result of that, they've been able to control the minds of a numb populace, a populace too dumb to do their own research. And now we have this winning. And what's happening to inflation, folks? It's under control. And they told us inflation was going to go nuts because of tariffs. This is insane, Lisa. Good to see you on. So now, just like before when they reported on the tariffs, when they tried to tell you, oh, Trump cut tariffs, he's going crazy, he's bonkers, he's erratic, he doesn't know how to do trade. Frickin', this is unbelievable. Are you kidding me? We actually have a president who's getting tariffs coming in, talking about giving a rebate to the American people. Now, I'll be frank, we don't need a rebate right now. What we need is our debt paid down. We need to get spending under control and all that. But, you know, he's a smart guy, Trump. And if he sends out a little rebate, great, fine, whatever. All right. Some of you probably would like a rebate. That's cool. I mean, it's always good to have a rebate. All right. So that just is, do you guys see the insanity of this? How many of you guys all see the insanity? The disunited kingdom. This is so awesome. Okay, hold on. It gets better. Out of Axios, Trump trade deal proves access to the U.S. still matters above all else. That's the kicker, folks. What this is proven, and French President Emmanuel Macron is freaking out. He is freaking out about this. He's so pissed off because this deal was done. It doesn't matter. Emmanuel Macron, what are we going to do? Not import French wine? Oh, no! Oh, God, help us. Okay, but listen to this. Trump trade deals prove access to the U.S. still matters above all else. First line of the article. Oh, get ready. This is good. In the Trump-dominated global economy, the U.S. gets plenty, but gives nothing in return. So this is what happened to Europe. Now they're trying to tell us that Trump wanted to go to 30%. He didn't get that. Wait, Europe has fallen to African invaders. Canada is next. Okay, I got a great piece on Canada here. I'll get it in the show here, okay? Because you bring up a great point. We'll get to that in just a second. Thank you for that super chat. So, Axios is pissed off in the Trump-dominated global economy. So I want you to just think about that line to start with. So Trump is dominating the global economy, and access to our market still matters above all else because the U.S. is still the biggest consumer market, period, bar none. So if Europe went on a tirade, right, and Trump tariffed them at 30% and their products continue to get more expensive, and then other products were coming in, it's over for Europe. Do y'all get that? It doesn't work. They need access to our markets. Okay? Why it matters. This is the reality. And the U.S. gets plenty, but gives nothing in return. So they're trying to frame this. Axios is trying to frame this as bad. You do understand that, right? You get how Axios is upset about this? Yes or no in the chat? In the Trump-dominated global economy, the U.S. gets plenty, but gives nothing in return. Oh, we give nothing in return. Folks, we've given for years. Good night. Who funds NATO? What the hell are they talking about? We do a lot. And what they get in return is access to our markets without a 30%, 40%, 50%, 60% tariff. Why it matters. This is the reality of asymmetric trade deals touted by the White House, which show how far foreign leaders will go to safeguard access to the U.S. market. Trump announced the agreements with Europe and Japan in which both agreed to drop their tariff rates to zero, promised eye-popping investments in the U.S. and open markets to American producers. In return, so you guys get this, right? Their tariff rates are dropping to zero. Their markets are wide open. In return, those countries get assurance of their tariff rate, both 15%, and both of which could have been worse, even if it puts their industries at a disadvantage. What they're saying, both Tokyo and Brussels apparently viewed the price of a 15% tariff worth paying in light of the alternative of higher tariffs, uncertainty, and counter-retaliation, Wendy Cutler, former acting U.S. trade representative under Obama, tells Axios. So here's a former Obama, trade representative admitting that both Tokyo and Brussels agree that the 15% tariff is worth paying in light of the alternative of higher tariffs. Folks, do you now realize that all the people we have been told are our allies weren't really our allies? I mean, are you all getting this? Do you all get that they were just allies in spirit, allies in taking our money, allies in accessing our markets while giving us nothing in return? Are you all beginning to get that? This is what Trump is so beautifully exposing and why the left is freaking out, because here's the thing, it's working. It's working. And when this works, they've lost, because the idea, see, this is the thing. Freedom, folks, this republic is based on the idea of freedom, okay? That's what it's based on. So that's why your freedom of speech is so important. That's why they were coming after it so hard. That's right, Scoop. I had some of Mike's energy drink, but I'm just telling you, this is exciting. I mean, you guys all get how exciting this is. Yes or no in the chat. I mean, this was the thing that I didn't understand about Trump. And I've talked about this before. So his first term, I was kind of worried about the tariffs back then. But I did not understand how the game was rigged. Trump educated me on how the game was rigged. Not in favor of America, but in favor of the foreign countries. Why? Because these people are citizens of the world, the Obamas. They care about, the world more than they care about you, the citizens of the country that they're supposed to represent. This is amazing. Trump announced the U.S. deal on Sunday afternoon in Scotland, mere days before the White House was set to impose 30% levies on European goods. And again, on top of all that, so even though Axios is upset, they're admitting what's going on. But the Wall Street Journal runs this headline: Trump and the EU dodge a trade war. The U.S. president gets his beloved 15% tariff, but little else from Europe. What a bunch of fools. He not only got 15% tariffs, but Europeans are investing 1.35 trillion in the US, and we get 0% tariffs. They're freaking idiots. Okay? They're idiots. Gosh, our press is so bad. Now here you go again. Here's another piece from the Wall Street Journal opinion page. Gosh, the Wall Street Journal has become such a trash rag. Okay, but here we go. This is an article, by the way, I got to mention. It's titled, How Democrats Can Win on Immigration. The byline is, our proposal would secure the border, end the misuse of asylum, and admit more legal immigrants. Okay. This is nuts. Our proposal would secure the border. Folks, during Joe Biden's 4-year reign of terror, how concerned with securing the border were Democrats? And do you honestly think with the prior 4 years that they have an interest in securing the border? Yes or no? I think they're going to end the misuse of asylum. Wait, that was how they brought everybody in, and now they're just going to magically end it. But wait, it gets better. You need to understand who wrote this article. Neera Tanden wrote this opinion piece for the Wall Street Journal. Shout out to who knows who Neera Tanden is. Who knows who Neera Tanden is? She wrote this opinion piece in the Wall Street Journal. I want to see it in the chat. How Democrats can win on immigration. Our proposal would secure the border, okay, and the misuse of asylum and admit more legal immigrants. Okay, I haven't seen anybody comment on who Neera Tanden is, so I'm going to tell you. Just another evil Dem. Charles in charge. I'm looking for a little more specific. Okay. Headline from June 24th. Top Biden aide admits to Congress she directed auto pen signatures without knowing who gave final approval. That's right. Neera Tanden said she never discussed Biden's mental acuity with other White House officials during time as top aide. So she's a top aide who directed the auto pen, but never once did she discuss Biden's mental acuity with other White House officials during her time as this top aide. This is who's writing this piece. So the former Biden top aide, who is responsible for running the auto pen, honest to God, she writes this. And the Wall Street Journal publishes it. Okay, it gets better. It gets better. They are losing their scheiss right now. Okay? That's German for another word. Okay. The Trump administration's first 6 months of immigration policy, this is her writing, are a case study in unimaginable cruelty that makes no distinction between legal immigrants and the undocumented. Whoa, 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 whoa. Folks, makes no distinction between legal immigrants and the undocumented. Now, question for you. How many of you have seen a bunch of legal immigrants getting rounded up by ICE? How many? Yes or no? Have you guys seen this? Have you seen the legal immigrants getting rounded up by ICE? Is this a thing? Well, according to her, it is. No distinction. Unimaginable cruelty. Legal immigrants and the undocumented that targets undocumented people who have been here for decades. Oh, I get it now. We're not supposed to target people if they've broken the law longer. Just God help me. Do you see the insanity of this? Okay, so folks, let me ask you a question. If you've been stealing one time or stealing for 20 years, are there typically more charges for stealing for 20 years, or do you have more charges for stealing once? Is the crime greater if you've been stealing once or stealing for 20 years? So is then the punishment more severe for stealing once or stealing for 20? Generally, typically in a court of law, folks. God, this is their argument. Do you see how silly this is? Okay. I'm pulling it together for you, my fine audience, okay? It targets undocumented people who have been here for decades, and it uses brute force police tactics to intimidate communities. No. Here's the thing. They are using brute force police tactics because they are getting rocks chucked at them. They are being attacked, actually shot at. We saw that. Okay? So it's not about intimidating communities. Do you realize that Donald Trump has given these illegal immigrants the greatest offer in the world? Folks, you know the offer. Comment in the chat. What is the offer that Trump has given to people, to illegal immigrants, people who are here illegally, even if they've been here 20 years and committed greater crimes by being here longer? Okay? What has Trump offered to them? So what these raids do is it shows people $1,000 in a plane ticket. That's right. All they have to do is self-deport. So, see, I love my audience. But so here's the thing. When people see these immigration raids, is it going to make them more or less likely to self-deport? What is the end cause of this? And they talk about the unimaginable cruelty. What? What about the unimaginable cruelty of a policy that allowed people to come in from jails and insane asylums in South America and terrorize our citizens? Eat their pets. Anyhow, the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency is raiding churches, courthouses, and schools and locking up undocumented grandmothers. I get it now. If you're older and break the law, that's okay. Now, I do understand respecting the elderly. I totally get that. I understand that, man. But this is all designed to promote guilt within those of us who believe in Trump's policies. It's pathetic. I feel no guilt. Anybody out there feeling guilt right now? Feeling guilt over Trump's policies? You're feeling like, oh no, we really shouldn't be deporting these people who have been here 20 years. And what if they're grandmas? Well, maybe if they're grandmas, what they should do is go home to their families. I have zero guilt. Thank you. You guys do too. The Homeland Security Department is revoking the protected status of tens of thousands of legal immigrants, clearing the way to deport people who have lived here for more than 20 years. That's right. Because this protected status was BS used by liberals to increase their census count and their voter base, because we now know that illegals were voting in elections. So we understand the game. We understand that replacement theory isn't just a theory. Thankfully, the American people are rejecting this cruelty. Apparently, you folks didn't get the memo because you're not rejecting this cruelty. I just love their platitudes. Just love it. According to a recent Gallup poll, only 35% of the country approves of the Trump administration's actions, the lowest figure of this term. Meanwhile, 79% of Americans, she does not even cite the poll. Oh, it's Gallup. Okay, which Gallup has been, spot on in the last elections, folks. This reflects a seismic shift in politics on immigration over 6 months. Democrats can go on the offensive on immigration because Americans are repelled by Trump's extreme policies. But to take on the president's immigration cruelty most effectively, Democrats must demonstrate that they back real border security. This is where it gets funny. I mean, I'm sorry. So, to take on the president's immigration cruelty most effectively, Democrats must demonstrate that they back real border security. That's right, folks, because they just had their awakening, their personal awakening, okay? A strong majority in this country supports clamping down on illegal border crossings and expanding legal immigration. The middle ground rejects the extremes on both ends. Those on the right, including in the Trump administration, want to curb legal immigration drastically, and some on the left who have ignored the need for a secure border. The public some on the left who have ignored the need for you've got to be kidding me. Read that line. I'm going to read it one more time, folks. Those on the right, including the Trump administration, who want to curb immigration drastically. These are the far fringe folks like you. And some on the left who have ignored the need for a secure border. People, I know of one Democrat who said something about the border and the fact that they hadn't handled it well and that it was out of line what they had done. Props to those who get the name of this person. But legitimately, some on the left who have ignored the needs, they all ignored it. They all ignored it. Okay? Every single one of them, save one who spoke out against it. It was probably just for performative art, okay? The public recognizes that America is a land of immigrants and that our country needs immigration to grow and prosper. They also believe immigrants need to enter the country illegally, okay? Democrats can win on this issue and cleave Republicans if they support ending illegal immigration and increasing legal immigration. This is why it is so important right now for Donald Trump to take massive action against this, because, folks, you basically have 2 years as a president. 2. That's what you got to really get your agenda forward. Obama understood that. Fetterman, exactly. Somebody got it. Robert Gardsmore. Thank you. You got it. John Fetterman said it. So, the left also has a chance to split the right as they have split us. We can do that with a plan that secures the border and expands the legal immigration system. The Center for American Progress has proposed such a plan. Okay, here's the deal. Let me ask you guys a question. Why do we need, and this is a serious question. Okay, please pay attention to me now. You can tell me I'm wrong, but I want you to answer this. Why do we currently need legal immigration? Legitimate question, because they're right in some sense on this. And I just, and don't, before you argue with me, just answer the question why we might need legal immigration. Okay. So, okay, Kathleen says skill sets for employment. Okay, understood. This is all, there it is. Somebody got it. Where did it go? Who got it? Jan Hood got it. Less births per year. Yep, Haplo gets it. Birth rates are down. We don't believe enough in our country. We don't believe enough in our culture. We don't even have replacement birth rates anymore in our country. That is a problem. It's a real problem. We are killing off generations of Americans. We're not getting married. We don't believe in the family structure. We don't believe in our own culture enough to reproduce it. It's what's going on in Europe. Europe's got it even worse, and they're being taken over by immigrants out of Northern Africa and the Middle East. It's real, folks. That is real. It's just, you can disagree with me all you want, but I'm telling you, we don't have a replacement workforce. We can't grow our economy when we're decreasing our population. Okay? Am I making sense to everybody? Do you guys understand what I'm saying? I mean, because I'm not trying to say that immigration is the answer. What I'm saying is restoring the family union and having babies is the answer. That's why I got 7 kids. Okay? I believe in this country. I believe in God's mandate to be fruitful and multiply. I believe in all of that. Now, Gen X said it's because they made everything too expensive. Gen X, can I say something that's going to be wildly unpopular? Probably going to hate me for it. But please don't. That's a little bit of a cop-out. Okay? And here's what I mean by that. I got 7 kids. We did that on single income. Every vehicle I had was used. I fixed them on my own. I built my own home. There are a lot of things that you can do outside of just working for the man. Okay? There's a lot of things you can do outside of working for the man to have a family and to do things. You can actually go and raise your own food. You can hunt. There's just a host of things you can do. You don't have to be dependent on bringing your vehicle into somebody every time. We don't even have to be dependent on the insurance system and the medical system of this country. In fact, just a side tangent, that's destroyed our country. It has literally destroyed our country. We've got people taking 20 prescription drugs at once because they're taking prescription drugs to combat the side effects of other prescription drugs. Figure out how to heal your body naturally. Prescription drugs need to be like the ultimate last resort. Do you all agree with me on this? Yes or no? I mean, I'm kind of going down a road here where so many people think prescription drugs are the answer. And when they're watching these prescription drug ads on TV and then they're going in and asking the doctor for these drugs, just stay off of them, man. I'm really serious about this. It's not doing good things to us. Okay. All right. Little aside. Hopefully you guys got it and agree with it. But we have inflation is absolutely come down and is under control, which is great. But here's a big piece of news out of Canada. Okay. Hey, Dave Delgado has said something here on the super chat. I got to check it out. Might that mean that there are probably 2 more generations of illegals under the deported grandma? That's very possible, Dave. Either the grandkids are back in home or they're here. Okay. The whole thing, that post-World War II and the 2-income family did not do good things to this country. It's just a reality. I mean, it's whatever. And people can disagree and all that, but it just the numbers spell it out. But listen to this. Have you guys heard about Alberta and Saskatchewan up in Canada and their desire to exit Canada and the legal ramifications and the possibilities of that? Because this isn't just hyperbole. This isn't just fake. All right. This is kind of a big news. Hey, Decker's Bows, good to see you on. Good to see you on there, Jerry. Really quickly, go get yourself some Rev 7. Rev 7 from mypillow.com/lumberjack or call 1-800-586-2865, 1-800-586-2865. Some great deals going on pillows now. The sheet sale is off. I told you that was ending on Sunday. That's gone. But you've got a great deal going on pillows right now. So go check it out at mypillow.com/lumberjack. Okay. Here's what's going on in Alberta. So I'm going to read to you from June 30th. So this came about last month. But as Canada prepares to blow out 158 birthday candles, Alberta plans 3 days later to formalize rules making it easier to have an independence celebration of its own. Now, so one of the problems with Europe and these other nations that really aren't allies with us is that we basically fund their socialism. And that's what's going on in Canada. These Western provinces are sending money back to Montreal, which is funding the social programs. Once that money, so we're talking all the natural resources over there, once that money comes out of the system, they can't fund their wokeism anymore. So beginning Friday, Premier Danielle Smith's United Conservative government is officially lowering the required threshold for citizens to initiate a province-wide referendum, including on separation. And it is written into Canada's laws that they can actually do this separate, is my understanding. So Mitch Silvestre, now listen to this. The CEO of the Alberta Prosperity Project, a nonprofit group touring Alberta promoting independence, said he plans to apply to elections Alberta that same day to start a new petition under the new rules. The group aims to gather 177,000 signatures within 120 days to put the question on a ballot to voters. Do you agree the province of Alberta shall become a sovereign country and cease to be a province of Canada? I would not be surprised if the referendum was held right now and we could possibly even win it, Silvestre told the Canadian press. He said many Albertans are skeptical Prime Minister Mark Carney will be able to restore trust after federal policies for years siphoned Alberta's resources, rich resources elsewhere. At the same time, this is really hilarious. I want you to listen to this. At the same time, Thomas Lukaszuk, a former progressive conservative deputy premier in Alberta. Let's read that one more time. At the same time, Thomas Lukaszuk, a former progressive conservative deputy premier in Alberta, is working to thwart the separatist effort. Whoa. Those words don't go together. Progressive, conservative. I will say this much. Do you know who the real progressives are in the world? The conservatives. That's right. So, I mean, we're the ones actually wanting to progress things forward. They call it, is progressive really progressive or is it regressive the way it's used today? You know, think about that. Lukaszuk, now out of politics, argues that Alberta's rules do not allow for two competing petitions on the same issue. There's only one petition at a time, so mine precludes theirs, he said. On Monday, Elections Alberta approved his application to undertake a petition for the province to declare its official policy to remain within Canada. Since Lukaszuk applied before the new rules took effect, he'll need to collect 294,000 signatures, but he said he's confident enough Albertans would sign their name. Okay? Lukaszuk has 30 days to appoint a chief officer, blah, blah, blah. Alberta Forever Canada petition. So there's a battle going on right now in Alberta, but they need less signatures to separate than they do to stay in Canada because of the rules and when that was announced. And the bottom line is the Western provinces, and if you got Alberta and Saskatchewan to secede from Canada, where does that leave British Columbia, which is now getting more on board with the idea, but has been more moderate in the past, but it separates their landmass from the bulk of Canada. So I think it puts more pressure on them. So things are getting interesting in Canada. I can't even believe that they could do worse than Justin Trudeau, but they figured out a way to do it. So do me a favor, please smash that like before you leave the stream. Go check out my sponsor, Birch Gold. Text Lumberjack to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold and silver. They make it very simple to own physical gold and silver. You can even convert an existing IRA or 401k into physical gold and silver. I love you folks. Keep fighting the good fight. All right, we'll see you on the next episode. Peace out.